Okay, how's it going, y'all? So today we're going to read, something. This is a thesis submitted in fulfillment of the requirements for degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical and Processing Engineering by Feng, University of Canterbury, 2010. And what this is covering is the pyrolysis of waste plastics into fuels. So we might go over a summary here. And I would like to read all through this. I would like to have this on just a study. And so let's go ahead and get into this. It's like a 216 page book basically here. It's core.ac.uk. So let's go ahead and get into this summary. Waste plastic disposal and excessive use of fossil fuels have caused environment concerns in the world. Both plastics and petroleum-derived fuels are hydrocarbons that contain the elements of carbon and hydrogen. The difference between them is that plastic molecules have longer carbon chains than those in LPG, petrol, and diesel fuels. Therefore, it is possible to convert waste plastic into fuels. The main objectives of this study were to understand and optimize the processes of plastic pyrolysis for maximizing the diesel range products and to design a continuous pyrolysis apparatus as a semi-scale commercial plant. Pyrolysis of polyethylene, polypropylene, and polystyrene has been investigated both theoretically and experimentally in a lab-scale pyrolysis reactor. The key factors have been investigated and identified. The cracking temperature for PE and PP, so that's polyethylene and polypropylene, in the pyrolysis is at 450 degrees Celsius, but that of polystyrene is lower at 320 degrees Celsius. High reaction temperature and heating rate can significantly promote the production of light hydrocarbons. Long residence time favors the yield of the light hydrocarbon products. The effects of other factors like type of reactor, catalyst, pressure, and reflux rate have also been investigated in the literature review. From the literature review, the pyrolysis reaction consists of three progressive steps: initiation, propagation, and termination. Initiation reaction cracks the large polymer molecules into free radicals. The free radicals in the molecular species can be further cracked into smaller radicals, and molecules during the propagation reacts. B-scission is the dominant reaction of the polyethylene propagation reactions. At last, the radicals will combine together into stable molecules, which are termination reactions. There are three types of cracking of the polymers: random cracking, chain strip cracking, and end-chain cracking. The major cracking on the polymer molecule backbone is random cracking. Some cracking occurs at the ends of the molecules of the free radicals, which is end-chain cracking. Some polymers have reactive functional side group on their molecular backbones. The functional groups will break off the backbone, which is chain strip cracking. Chain strip cracking is the dominant cracking reaction during polystyrene pyrolysis. The reaction kinetics was investigated in this study. The activation energy and the energy requirement for the pyrolysis are dependent on the reaction process and the distribution of the final products, following the equations from other literatures. The theoretical energy requirement for pyrolyze 1 kilogram polyethylene is 1.047 mJ. The estimated calorific value of the products is about 43.3 mJ. Therefore, the energy profit is very high for this process. The polyethylene pyrolysis, which one was that? Polyethylene, okay. These are, the PE I know is polyethylene, PP is polypropylene. Polyethylene pyrolysis products are mainly 1-alkylus, N-alkylus, and O-dialkylus, ranging from C1 to C45+. The 1-alkylus and the N-alkylus were identified with a special method developed in this research. It was found that secondary cracking process had a significant influence on the distribution of the product. This process converts heavy hydrocarbons into gas or light liquid product that significantly reduces 1-alkylus, dialkylus. The secondary process can be controlled by adjusting the reflux rate of the primary product. The product of polyethylene pyrolysis with maximized diesel range output consists of 18.3% non-condensable gases, 81.7 W/W liquid product, and less than 1% pure carbon under high reflux rate process. Some zeolite catalysts were tested to reduce the heavy molecular weight wax. It was found that NKC-5, ZSM-5, was the most effective catalyst among zeolites tested. The proportion of the non-condensable gases was promoted from 17% W/W to 58% W/W by adding 10% W/W NKC5 into the polyethylene feedstock. The products of polypropylene pyrolysis are mainly methyl oligomers. The reflux effect on the product from the pyrolysis of polypropylene is not as great as that of polyethylene. The polypropylene pyrolysis product with high reflux rate consists of 15.7% non-condensable gases, 84.2% condensed liquid product, and less than 0.25% char. The cyclohexane is the dominant component. 21% W/W in the liquid product, 44% V/V of the non-condensable gases is propene. In the pyrolysis product of polystyrene, there are 4% non-condensable gases, 93% liquid, and 3% char. Styrene accounts for 68.5% W/W in the polystyrene liquid pyrolysis products due to the chain strip reactions. There is 19% V/V hydrogen in the class product, which did not exist in the polyethylene pyrolysis gas product. The composition of the char is almost pure carbon, which is similar to that from polyethylene pyrolysis. The mixture of virgin and post-consumer polyethylene, polypropylene, and polystyrene also have been investigated to identify the feedstock interaction and the effect of the contamination on the product. The interaction promotes the production of non-condensable gases. However, the effect of the interaction of the distribution of total product is not significant. Contamination of paper labels on the post-consumer plastics may result in higher solid residue in the product, but no significant effect on the product was found in the study. Based on the achievements, a continuous semi-scale reactor has been designed and constructed at maximum capacity of 27.1 kilogram/hour in this research. From the experiments of pyrolysis of both virgin polyethylene and post-consumer polyethylene on the semi-scale pyrolysis reactor, it was found that the major components are 1-alkanous and N-alkanous and A. So there is a symbol here that is, it looks like a W. It looks like a W. Dialkanous, you know. It's before dialkanous into this. The distribution of the condensed products of polyethylene pyrolysis from the semi-scale reactor is the same as the products of the low reflux rate process with the lab-scale reactor. However, the proportion of non-condensable gases is much higher than that from pyrolysis in the lab-scale test with low reflux rate because the semi-scale plant has higher reaction temperature and heating rate. Lower proportion of unsaturated hydrocarbons was found in the condensed product from the post-consumer polyethylene pyrolysis than in the virgin polyethylene product because of the contamination on the post-consumer polyethylene. The actual energy consumption for cracking and vaporizing polyethylene into fuels is 1.328 mJ/kilograms, which is less than 3% of the calorific value of the pyrolysis products. Therefore, the pyrolysis technology has very high energy profit, 42.3 mJ/kg polyethylene, and is environmental friendly. The oil produced has very high quality and close to the commercial petroleum-derived liquid fuels. The experience of design and operation of the semi-scale plant will be helpful for building a commercial scale plant in the future. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the acknowledgement too. Before that was just the summary. So we're going to go ahead and get into the acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. Without the support, assistance, and motivation provided by those around me, this study would have never been accomplished. In particular, I'd like to thank my supervisor, Professor Feng, for this help and guidance during the period of research. Professor Feng provided significant comments and financial support on defining the topic and proceeding with the research. His assistance in editing was very greatly appreciated. His enthusiastic nature always encourages me. I have gained much about this study from his rigorous attitude. I must thank CAPE Department of Canterbury University and Greenfield Technologies Limited for providing the opportunity, or LTD, Technologies Ltd, for providing the opportunity to investigate the pyrolysis technology of waste plastic into fuels and their financial and technical assistance. I need to thank Dr. Chris Williams for his valuable advice. I would also like to acknowledge the technical staffs in the department, Bob Gordon and David Brown, for teaching me the experimental techniques and how to use the analyst devices. Their valuable suggestions, discussions, and endless enthusiasm were much appreciated. And thanks especially to my parents. So I might mispronunciate names here. This is Xiangyun Gong, Xiaoqian Zhu, Yanghua Lu, and Qi Li. and all my friends who kept me encouraged throughout the 5 years of research and thesis writing. Okay, so yeah, so this is a, an interesting, book here. I've always been really interested in plastic paralysis. I've never had the means to ever, I've researched what I could about it, during the time I've had. So I'm really excited to read about this, because it's, to take one problem of pollution and to kind of fix another problem take one environmental problem and throw it at another environmental problem. If that can successfully be done, then that's, absolute brilliance. So, and I do hope that I do hope that we see something, come to fruition, where this is how we start sustaining fuels. And, so, well, thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all want to, follow me online, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, Medium, all Marxists. So that's just, I read things off like this, and in hopes that, more people can hear it. And I like reading as well. I don't like reading going to waste, so if I read something, I try to record. I don't record everything I read, but I hope y'all have a great day, and Dodara Goi.